Hi, welcome or welcome back to Sapling Tarot. My name is Imogen. So Janaki over at Cartomancy Tarot came up with a completely perfect tarot deck tag, which has mustered me out of my, I don't know, we're going to call it a filming slump. I haven't been able to get my brain in gear to figure out how and when to film videos for a little while. So I'm now currently just doing it when I'm like super duper motivated to do it. So I watched this video this morning, I'm filming it now, it may even be up today, because I'm super excited because this is a peak example of when special interests collide. We're talking about skincare and we're making it relevant to tarot decks, and I am thrilled. I've been noodling on a tarot makeup bag tag for a while because, like I say, I like combining the special interests. I really enjoyed Candy's Decks Meet Collections tag and getting to talk about other stuff that I find interesting and kind of shoehorning it into being tarot related. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm going to talk you through essentially my tarot skincare routine. I'm also going to show you the skincare products that I use. I've like rummaged through my stash and I thought that we could talk about it. If that sounds good to you, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so first step is the double cleanse. So this is usually like cleansing with an oil and then with something oil based and then something water based. I'm not going to show you the things that are in my like top rotation because they are grim looking. They're like dusty and oil covered. And covered in soap scum and stuff, but I will, with like editing magic, hopefully, remember to put a photo of them up. Also, one of them's like decanted into another bottle. Anyway, I digress. I use a vitamin C cleansing oil that I've used for years and years and years. A lot of this like routine has been like pretty static for, yeah, like a good number of years now. I did have like a big old phase of getting super duper into it and trying loads of things, and I've kind of settled on what works best for me right now with some like seasonal adjustments. So yeah, I use this vitamin C cleansing oil and then follow it up with a rose water gel cleanser. I kind of wish I could show you the gel cleanser because the texture is like horrific but in a fun way. It's like, it's very lubey and as soon as someone pointed that out to me, I could never see it, but it's really nice. They're really gentle. Your face feels like clean but not too stripped. I do have like other things to show you though. So Janaki's routine is like almost entirely K-beauty, I think. I have a couple of K-beauty bits, a couple of bits that are just like from Boots here in the UK. There's a few Australian bits. There's some French stuff, there's some American stuff, there's something from New Zealand, so like mine, we're going a little bit more global. So this is a like hot cloth cleansing balm. It's like a solid oil, and if it's not too grim, I'll show it to you. Yeah, so it's like a solid oil, you scoop some out, it smells really good. It's not like scented, I don't think, but it just smells like what it is. So you scoop some into your hands, you kind of melt it, you rub it onto your face, and then you use a hot cloth to kind of emulsify it and wipe it off, which feels really delicious and delightful. And then this is like a cream cleanser. This is also a hot cloth cleanser, but it's not an oil-based one. It's more like, I suppose technically it's like cocoa butter, but it's a slightly lighter, more like a cream texture, and I've used this for years and years and years, and it's like a classic. It's really expensive now, so I had some backups that I've been like working through, but I probably will have to like say goodbye to that and stick with my much like cheaper day-to-day alternatives. But this smells really good. It smells like eucalyptus, which is like a personal fave. So the prompt for the double cleanse is a pair of cleansing decks for the end of the day to kind of reset you. And I've got a tarot and an oracle that I don't know if I would use them together, which probably slightly defeats the purpose of the tag. But I'll start with the Spacious Tarot. This is one of my older decks, which is like sadly going out of print now, which is just too sad. If you want like a really lovely look at it, Sarah over at Tangy Tarot did a like favourite cards video fairly recently that I will try and remember to to link below. So as I say every time I mention this, it is in fact the spacious nature of the deck. Like there's lots of open spaces. It's not really kind of negative space because it is like backgrounds, but there's usually only kind of one subject and a lot of background, and that I found quite intimidating to begin with, but I really very quickly fell in love with the way it's been put together and the way that it's been thought through. And so like this could have been used for, there's like a meditative deck prompt later, and I was going to use this, but then I thought about like something gentle for like the end of the day. And there's quite a lot of nighttime scenes. There's something a little bit cozy, quite restful, something a little bit like sinking into a hot bath about it. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's one of my favourite decks, and I just find it like a really lovely deep breath reset. I get that kind of sensation from using it. I'll leave that very peaceful looking Two of Cups on top while I show you the second deck, which is the Anatomy of Healing deck, which was a Kickstarter from last year. My box came slightly busted, but never mind. And it's, I don't know, is it an oracle deck? It's like a kind of bodywork deck. I don't know, I don't really have anything else like it in my collection. I love these anatomical drawings. I love bringing the kind of natural body is natural Imogen. That's an interesting distinction that you're trying to make. The like plant elements that have been woven into the anatomical drawings. I like the captions that come with them. I think they're all song titles, and yet that has been mentioned nowhere in any of the like the book or any of the Kickstarter stuff. Also, maybe I'm going mad, but I don't look back in anger. I can see clearly now. Are they song titles? Are they song lyrics? I'm not going mad, right? These are all these are all songs, aren't they? And yeah, again, I think like certainly in terms of the idea of this being like an evening or an end of the day deck, I think that the sort of somatic wisdom that's in these cards and sort of using them as a way to, so like I really struggle with interoception, so like the being able to listen to your body cues and knowing how you're feeling and that kind of stuff, and that can often lead me to getting in trouble with my body essentially and pushing myself too hard, burning myself out, not like feeding myself both like literally and metaphorically the way that I need to, or kind of looking after myself. And so having a tool like this to kind of shuffle through, I mean they're really nice cards, to shuffle through and then like check in one by one on like the bits of my body, or to do like a reading and then check in on like a few bits of my body and stuff. Like it's a really beautiful like evening routine. I don't do it often because I find talking to my body a bit overwhelming. But it's been a really helpful thing for me. It's like kind of the body somatic equivalent of how some people use the Reclaim Oracle. But yeah, so that's another evening routine. I don't know how well they go together as a pair, but I'll be totally honest with you, I don't double cleanse all that often. I like an oil cleanse, I like a gel cleanse or a water cleanse or something. I don't often remember to do both of them unless I've had like the fullest face of makeup, and I don't do that very often. Okay, the second prompt is the Exfoliator, an abrasive deck that reveals new growth. My exfoliator is in the shower, so I won't be showing you that because again, it looks grotty. But I use like Janaki, I use rice enzyme, but it's in a powder form, so you dip it out into your palm and add like a little bit of water, and it turns into a sort of pasty cream thing, and so it's like slightly chemically exfoliating, slightly physically exfoliating, and I just use that every time I have a shower, and that sorts me right out. I used to use a lot of glycolic acid, which my skin reacts quite well with, but then they started putting lactic acid in everything, and my skin does not like lactic acid, so I haven't used a chemical exfoliant for quite a long time, beyond this like rice enzyme powder wash thing. My abrasive deck that reveals new growth is, to no one's surprise, the Outgrow Yourself Tarot Oracle by Akkas Barman. That was me going to like not edit this video because I don't have an awful lot of energy, but now we've got my neighbours making noises, there's seagulls squawking, there's the boiler going, there's the pipes running, there's people walking around, having loud conversations. So this is certainly an abrasive deck. She's very pointed. Fuck me, are you joking? She's certainly very pointed, doesn't pull any punches, but there's also quite a kind of nurturing, nourishing kind of undercurrent of like, it is very supportive. And so I think this is the perfect deck for abrasive, but that kind of like gently or not so gently peels back to reveal like new skin and kind of sloughs away. That's a word that I've never really known how to say. Sloughs? Sloughs? Just sounds like I'm saying sloths. Anyway, sloughs. Removes. Scours away your dead skin and the stuff you don't need anymore. Not that you don't need your dead skin. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Go gentle on your skin. But yeah, it's like it removes that and then like leaves you all like shiny, fresh and new like a baby. I love her, and I really like exfoliating, and I have to make sure that I don't overdo it. I do have some slightly obsessive tendencies, one of which manifests in dermatillomania, which is skin picking, so super sexy. So I have to, be careful that I don't do things that aggravate that and make me too like super focused on things like rough skin patches or like imperfections or whatever. Which is part of the reason why I had to like calm down on the whole skincare thing. So we're on to Toner, a refreshing deck for balance. So as Janaki said in the original video, these do kind of get conflated now. All the things I have are toners. Well, they're certainly billed as toners. I don't think any of them would come under the thing that they... one of them could. Anyway, basically, I'm going to show you a bunch of toners, and then I'm not going to show you any essences, because I'm getting a bit caught up in the semantics of it all. So my most used one is this one by Dear Claire's, the Supple Preparation Unscented Toner. Their Supple Preparation Toner is one of their hero products. I tend to use unscented products, not because I think that fragrance is bad, but because I have sensory difficulties, and so having a skincare routine where every single different product is scented is a wild experience for me, particularly if they're all different fragrances, which inevitably they are. It's like having a shower and having different scented shampoo, conditioner, body wash, body lotion, all that kind of stuff. It's all a bit much for me. So I tend to, when I can get an unscented version, I do tend to get one, or the lightest possible scent. I love scented products, but if you're having to layer them all up, then it can just be a bit much. This is just super moisturising. I don't know if you can see the texture. It's thick water. I know that Fenty Beauty came out with one, or Fenty Skin came out with one that they called Fat Water, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just a gloopy hydrating thing. It's got, I think it's mostly beta glucan in this, which is what makes it good, and that's what my skin really likes. My skin likes a whole bunch of hydrating ingredients. Hyaluronic acid. Do I mean hyaluronic acid? Cool, I'm so rusty. Oh my god, house noises. I'm so rusty. But glycerin and beta glucan are the ones that I like the most. So it's still on the kind of fat water thing. This is Wonder, so you can even see it's leaving a residue on the bottle. This is Ceramide Mochi Toner, so it's hydrating, but it's also kind of nourishing and kind of barrier repairing stuff. Basically, I saw the word mochi and was like, oh, I want that. They've since rebranded it. It's not called Mochi Toner anymore, I don't think. But yeah, it was there was a trend, I think, called Mochi Skin. And so they kind of leaned into that. My skin has a bit of a love-hate relationship with ceramides. Oh god. But this one seems to be alright. However, it does have it has something in it I don't think my skin totally loves, so I only use it every once in a while. It smells like lemons. It's delightful. Kind of sweet lemon, and that's really nice. This is a thinner, very watery toner, tonic, and this was the one that I was thinking, could this count as an essence, because it's all botanical stuff, but it's still, yeah, it's very much a toner. This does have fragrance in it, which is a whole bunch of different things, but it's very soothing at the same time, and it smells like rose geranium, which is one of my favourite smells in the whole world. And yeah, this is the cleanse and polish ones. These are very kind of classy fancy lady feeling skincare. And then the last one is I mean, it's hardly a toner, it's just a rose water mist that I use for say when I've got out of the shower and my skin has started to dry or whatever, I'll spray that on my skin before I start doing my skincare. And I also use it to slightly melt my makeup, so that it doesn't feel like it's just sitting on my skin. So there's 4 fucking toners. It's totally not excessive. It's my favourite bit, and I like doing the whole I don't know, I don't go as far as the whole like 7 skin thing, but I like just sitting there and patting it into my face. That makes me feel good. So this is a refreshing deck for balance, and this is the one I didn't get out of the trolley. The White Newman deck. An underrated deck, in my opinion. Although I know that Liminal 11 has been up to some serious shenanigans lately, so, well, not even just lately, but for a while. So I don't know what the availability of this is like now. I find this deck like a breath of fresh air. There is something quite dynamic about it, like there is kind of a cool breeze running through it. I think there are like a lot of kind of lines of motion that run through the imagery, and so yeah, it's kind of not even much deeper than that. I have had this deck for a long time. It makes me very happy. Wow. I mean, it does. I like the colour palette. I like the art style. I feel very settled when I use it, despite the fact that it doesn't pull punches. What more do I have to say about this? Refreshing deck for balance. Yeah, I think I really like going back to older decks in my collection when I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. It's kind of, I suppose, a little bit like that kind of coming home feeling. I think it's such a fun 8 of Wands, and like arguably for me in my life more relatable than the usual 8 of Wands, because they're all noodly and squiggly rather than like super direct and purposeful in one direction. Yeah, I really like this deck. I really like the way it shows people. There's something a little bit kind of fantastical about it, and yeah, I find it very balancing, like a nice toner, I guess. Balancing that pH, I suppose. A little bit hydrating. Okay, so moving straight onto the deck for Essence, which Janaki describes as a potent dose of nature. I don't have any essences anymore, but I do have a bunch of nature decks now. I thought for a long time I wasn't an animal deck person, and then I discovered Three Trees Tarot, and so I thought I'd pull out, well, the 2 that I have from them, which are where I get the majority. Are we in order? No, we're not in order. We're slightly in order. This is where I get my nature from now. I suppose the thing about, so this one is Heartwood, and I suppose that this is actually all set inside a house, so that might feel like not super naturey. And so I thought I would pull out Thistledown as well and show you this delightful dose of nature and the natural world that Adamolas and Stephanie Burrows provide for us in these gorgeous decks. Oh my god. I think that might be my favourite 10 of Cups ever in the whole entirest world. Also, there's so many of these creatures that I'm so familiar with, and it just, I don't know, it really adds something. I know I kind of go on a bit about that, but I don't know, it matters to me in a way that I can't quite explain. I like that I said that when there's a cute little dragon. Oh, that's so cute. But yeah, if I want a big dose of nature, and healing nature at that, potent nature, I will go to the Three Trees tarot decks. Yeah, I like the new way that they have done the 3 original decks. So Thistledown is getting a bit of an upgrade. Although it does mean it's losing the foxy backs, which is a bit sad. I like the foxes. But it's gaining a border, and I think I prefer the borderless. So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with the 2 that I have, and I'm quite excited for the spider deck that they've been working on for a while, which is pretty cool. This is one of my favourite cards as well. I love that. Yeah, anyway, so this is where I go for my a potent dose of nature. Cool. Okay, so prompt number 5 is serums and targeted care. I don't really have anything like this anymore. The one thing I could find in my stash was a tranexamic acid serum, which, if I'm honest, has probably expired at this point. This is for like discoloration and stuff. I get like dark bits around my mouth, probably from all the tea I drink, if that's a thing. So yeah, that's all I have to show you in that regard. But the prompt for this is a deck that helps you explore like a targeted area. And while I don't do that so much, I thought one of the more specific decks that I have is the Goddess of Love Tarot by Gabriella Hurstick. I could have pulled out the Erotic Tarot, but I don't know how well that would play on YouTube, and so I think I'm already kind of walking a bit of a line with this one. But this is like love and sex magic themed, and I use it for, or I work with it for more than that. It's just a deck that I work with like a lot anyway, but it has helped me get better at working with those sorts of topics in tarot, which I think makes me a better tarot reader, because what do people want to know about other than love and sex, really? Work, unfortunately. But yeah, so this is one of my more like targeted decks, and like I say, not to say that it only works for love and sex readings, but it does that really well. So yeah, not much more to say on that. I love this deck. I'm much happier with it now that I've like fully trimmed it. I sort of like half trimmed it to keep more of the red borders before, but it just felt a bit kind of bitty. Yeah, much happier with it now. I was like so close to just buying another copy, which would have felt absolutely ridiculous. But I so hated the like partially trimmed thing. So this was my like last ditch attempt to be happy with it, and I am happy with it. So next one is masks. I don't love a mask, mostly because I forget to use them. I don't love a sheet mask. I don't like that kind of like cold, so not like cooling and refreshing, but like cold feeling on my face. So the one that I use, I think this is just like a deluxe sample or something. Whoop. Is this Manuka Honey like hydrating mask. I don't know why I got it out of the box. You can see it on the packet. Yeah, it's just kind of a moisturising thing. I put it on while I dye my eyebrows. Don't really know what more there is to say about that. I suppose some of the moisturisers that I'm going to talk about could double up as masks, but we'll get there when we get there. So the meditative deck for relaxation. Ooh, can I reach this without knocking the camera? So this was the prompt that I thought could have been the spacious tarot, but instead I went for, I was thought about the ritual tarot, but I don't think I find it relaxing reading that. So I thought I would pull out, I don't know, a similarly kind of opaque deck that you do like need to sit with and learn, but with slightly less like challenging imagery. I just think these are really beautiful. This is the Botanica Tarot, did I say that? I don't think I said that. But yeah, so it's like it's not super straightforward. You've got to sit with it. But then I also think like, oh my god, if we're talking about like doing a mask while you're like sat in the bath, imagine a bathroom like done out with this kind of artwork. Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah, you have to like learn it. But then I think it's a very restful, chill deck. That, yeah, just again feels like that kind of deep breath. How many other words for restful and relaxing can I find? Yeah. I know this was on Kickstarter recently for like, as a super mega deck, and I was like so tempted, but I've been trying to rein it in terms of deck purchasing and acquiring and stuff. I just think it's really clever as well, and I think I find that satisfying and relaxing as well, is that the way it's been thought through is really fun. And so you can use like tarot meanings, but you can also, yeah, just kind of lean into it and get a bit lost in the artwork. So this is my mask. This is my mask, my meditative deck for relaxation. Botanica Tarot. I know that people have like feelings about this deck, but I've been enjoying it. Okay, so onto moisturisers, which is the biggest category, I think, for me personally, mostly because there are 2 additional things that I want to talk about that just kind of wouldn't necessarily have gone into any other category that was given. I'll start with the lightest. This is my like go-to everyday moisturiser. I've been using it for years and years now. If they reformulate it, I'm going to kick off. It's like a really lovely kind of gel consistency that feels very light, if a little bit cold on the skin, but it doesn't dry my skin out. Oh yeah, I meant to say up at the top, I have quite like normal skin, prone sometimes to the odd dry patch, sometimes to the odd like hormonal spot, but I'm generally quite fortunate. I suppose my main issue is some kind of redness bordering on rosacea on like the middles of my cheeks, and yeah, the whole like yummy skin picking thing. But yeah, so this is enough moisturisation for me, particularly in like warmer months. And then the next one is, so this is like a classic French pharmacy thing, quite good as like a makeup base. This is the sensitive skin one, which I think essentially is, by sensitive skin they just mean it's like not fragrance. I quite like the fragrance of the original one, but it's so strong and I get like dry skin on my nose, so I do have to moisturise my nose, and the smell just doesn't go away and it drives me absolutely insane. But yeah, so you could use this as a mask if you just like put on a really thick layer of it, but I think that probably accounts for all moisturisers. I guess some you couldn't like build up and they just start to like pill and roll up on themselves, and that would be kind of gross. Then there's like the big guns thick moisturiser. This is like the Beauty Bay own brand thing. I don't know if they still make this, but it's just like a really thick oaty cream thing. My skin likes oats. That's kind of it. Sometimes if this one is too light, I shift to the rich moisturiser one, but you have to use like a really little amount, otherwise it does what I was talking about, and it kind of builds up on itself and goes all gross. I guess that's like another element to my light skincare thing, is I'm quite sensitive to textures, particularly bad textures, TM, and we'll talk about that more when we get to sun protection. And then there's also this one, which again is kind of a classic. I'm like never without this. There's always like 3 or 4 part used tubes of this. Like there's always one in my bag, there's always one on my bedside table, there's always one like where my makeup lives, there's one in my like soap bag for going away. There's just always like partially used tubes of this everywhere in my house. I buy like loads of it whenever I see it on offer, because the price just keeps going up. But yeah, see, I don't really know what to say about this. This is like a calendula rich cream thing. I really like the smell of it. I know that not everyone does. It's just kind of herbal calendula stuff. Works quite nicely under makeup. You can also use it as like kind of a glossy highlight thing, but it's quite oily, so it does like break stuff down. But I quite like that. I prefer makeup that looks quite lived in. And then the other 2 things that like aren't technically moisturisers but go in this category are, one, I like a rosehip oil to just like pat in over the top. This is from the same place that I buy my vitamins. Oh, and it's out of date by several months. Oh well, it still smells fine, and it smells like pencil shavings, which is one of my favourite smells in the world. But yeah, I like that. I like rubbing it into my hands. I like using a very little amount in my hair. Yeah, what else to say? I pop that on after moisturiser if I'm feeling a bit, or just feeling like I want to. I like rubbing it into like my eyebrows or my eyelashes just a little bit. And then there's also this, which is snake oil balm, which is a very, very soft balm that just kind of squidges everywhere, but it smells really good and is like really good for cuts and scrapes and skin picking injuries. And I got that from the Leith Witchcraft Market from Hedge Witch Apothecary. So moisturiser is a Nourishing Hug Deck. I missed out eye cream. I don't use an eye cream. I don't really want to stand up and go and get the other deck as well. So this was going to be my youthful deck for eye cream, but it could definitely be a Nourishing Hug Deck for moisturiser. I just, on the eye cream thing, I used to use the Yerba Mate one by Good Molecules, and I like that, but otherwise I don't really bother. I guess I use the rosehip seed oil as an eye cream, so we can say that. So yeah, so this is the Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic tarot. Makes me want to keep singing every time I say it, and it also really annoys me every time I have to say it. Well, no, it doesn't annoy me when I have to say it, it annoys me when I have to write it down. Oh, we've got the tower on top, fun. You were supposed to be a nourishing, like, hug deck. Thank you for that. But yeah, this is just really cute. It's very friendly feeling, nothing too confronting, but like doesn't positive wash anything. It's, some of them are a little bit like, I don't know, kind of interesting interpretations. The little guidebook is really cute. And it has like crystals and smells to go with each card, which I love because that's absolutely how my brain works too. I'm quite tempted to get the workbook. This is the card that made me buy this deck. I love a bunny as the fool. I love him so much. Little butterfly on his bum. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, I think it's really lovely. I think it's a really well done deck, and I think that it's really cool that it was a mass market one. Yeah, I'm kind of losing the thread a little bit now. But yeah, so this is my moisturising. Okay, and so we're on to the final prompt, which is sun protection. I really struggle with the texture of sunblock of like any kind of SPF. And yes, I have tried the K-Beauty and J-Beauty ones. I really struggle with them. I do my best to remember to wear them, but like if me putting on sunblock is the difference between me being able to leave the house and not being able to leave the house, then I will admit that I don't wear it as often as I should. Because it will like upset me to the point of me being like, well fuck it, I can't go out. Oh, autism life, it's not all superpowers. But the two that I like find the most manageable is this one, which is the sample, because I can't afford the big bottle, but this is a sample of the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. It's a cute little like prismatic thing. It's like a weirdly like kind of silicone-y texture. Does it have like ingredients for you to see? I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's like super silicone-y, which is like quite fun for putting like makeup on top of. It's a really weird texture for me on my hands, but it's fine on my face. It's like that kind of dry, I don't know, if you know, you know, but like that kind of dry silicone-y kind of moisturisey thing. But then the one that I wear, which is like the most like normal and the one that I can actually like use the correct amount, is this one. Again, it's like fragrance free, it's Australian. I tend to get on better with Australian sunblocks. Apart from that, what's that one that was really highly regarded? Was it like Altitude or something? I don't know. It was like really, really highly rated by one of those like skincare guru doctor people, and oh my god, it was the worst thing I'd ever put on my face. But yeah, both of these work under makeup, which if I'm bothering to like leave the house and do skincare and stuff, then I'm probably putting makeup on, so it's kind of important that you can put makeup on top of it without it all going horribly wrong. But yeah, I like this one. Don't really know what else to say about it. So there we go, that's my sun protection. And so I thought my most like protective deck is my Lilith deck, because I love her, and I think as much as she's capable, she loves me. Yeah, I don't know, feel very like seen and held and protected by this deck. Again, she doesn't like pull any punches or anything, because I don't really love that in a deck, but yeah, I feel quite like supported and kind of galvanised by it, I suppose. This and Outgrow Yourself often, I mean, they work really beautifully together, but also they could kind of sit in each other's place at any point. Yeah, in terms of like, I think the original prompt was like to do with getting rid of like negative energies and stuff, and I feel like Lilith says, no, I am the negative energy, no one else is allowed to be the negative energy here. You know that thing about like siblings, like I can be mean to them but no one else can be mean to them. I feel like that's my relationship with this deck, is she can be mean to me but like no one else can be mean to me. So yeah, that's it, that's the final prompt. Sun protection, protective deck. It's Lilith, baby. So yeah, that was super fun. I hope you didn't mind the little skincare ramblies. I thought it was super fun. Like Janaki said, what is skincare if not grown-up potions? Particularly when we're talking about like this kind of shit. It's great. I also quite like making my own stuff. I didn't show you any of that because it all looks pretty gross. It's all in like old jam jars and stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please give it a like. You could even consider subscribing if that feels good to you. I hope you're taking really good care of yourself and that you're having an alright day, all things considering. Take care. Catch you in the next one. Bye.